Night before last.
No, and I'm going on vacation in a few days.
Cool. Good for you.
Yeah, so let's do that quick. First of all, I want to say welcome to Over 50, starting over, everyone. This is a place to get information, inspiration, and awareness as we champion our third act. Okay, along those lines,
Hey, I like that. That sounded good.
Merle just recharged the batteries in Michigan again.
I don't know about that.
Lisa and I were just talking about you having, she was asking about how your diet was going because you would have flapjacks, which we call them when they're outside. When you have them inside, they're
Oh,
pancakes.
I didn't know that.
I just made
Wow.
that up. But
You're full of it today, man.
and so I called you and you were there again in
Yeah.
Michigan.
I having flapjacks or
I don't know.
pancakes?
You
I
said
can't
yesterday
remember.
you did.
I had some pancakes. I actually lost weight on my
Wow.
trip. I came back. I just got on the scale. I'm 206. So I was
Nice. That's
207 when
great.
I left at 206 today. So it all worked out. I gotta say, it was just about moderation. I had a lot of great food though. I got
A lot of
to
activity,
officiate.
probably.
Oh my gosh. Officiating my beautiful niece's wedding. What an honor that was at the St. Clair Inn in St. Clair, Michigan. And she got married to her awesome husband, Tarek. And
Nice.
I got to perform the ceremony. It was over the top. I mean, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I think it was I've officiated two weddings, and both of them have been epic events. The first one was in New Orleans, and the wedding of my brother-in-law Dan and my sister-in-law Andrea, and they were at the wedding too, which was great. But that wedding turned into a parade afterwards,
Hmm.
the New Orleans parade, which was so awesome. This one was right on the lake, just beautiful. The whole setting was amazing, and I'm back from that just the day before yesterday. We got to see lots of family. It was a beautiful time, I'm back at work and finally getting some rest again. So,
Aha, that's funny. We are in a few days, we're leaving for doing some Cape Cod, Maine, and Boston action to take in the fall foliage of the East Coast.
man, we got to see a little bit of it in Michigan, which,
Oh,
some
good.
of those leaves
Hmm.
are starting to turn. We don't get to
It's a
see that
little
down
early.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really beautiful weather too. My
Oh,
gosh.
good. Yeah, it's been gorgeous here. All right, let's roll because we got a lot going on here. I know in a second here in our first segment, I want to talk about challenge us to find one small habit to change or to take up that will reduce anxiety in 7 days, in just 1 week. So that's a really good game changer on a personal level. But then we got so much in current events. There's so much big stuff going on, so many smoke screens. Most of it surrounding the government shutdown. Is it overfunding the illegals? Is it healthcare subsidies versus tax cuts to the rich? It's all a whole bunch of BS. But if you wanted to talk about for a couple seconds, Merle, Hegseth's 10 directives to the U.S. generals, that was fun fodder for Lisa and I. And dude, we're going to, in the next segment, have to at least, maybe we'll start with this one because we have to just talk about it for a minute. But FBI Director James Comey indicted. It seems like maybe for once
Hmm.
there's a little something there. But
Maybe.
yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
have to see.
Yeah, I'll just give that a minute because we got so much with that government shutdown to talk about.
Oh, I
So
know.
just let me power through this one. The one habit that lowers anxiety in 7 days, because I'm sure that you'll have opinions on this, Merle. Feeling wired or worn out, not sleeping well. You don't need a life overhaul, just one lever. This is the important part. Clinical research shows that small, consistent habits, media detoxing, daily walking outside, or a few alcohol-free nights can lower anxiety and improve sleep in a week. So let's make it simple and winnable. Pick one of these for 7 days. And we'll talk about these, which is most appealing because we're all different. But I got four choices here. Set a sleep window, same bedtime, same wake up time within plus or 30 minutes. And number two, walk 10 10,000 steps a day outside, preferably a park like setting, or no alcohol Monday through Thursday. Or finally, do a 24-hour media detox once a week, no news, social media, and replace dark shows programming with positive ones. Why this gets big results. One small step beats trying to do a complete overhaul because you get you change one little thing and you get positive reinforcement right away. So it's
Yes. Yeah.
encouraging. So
Beautiful.
we're going to talk about these, what appeals to Merle, what appeals to me right now. But I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you choose? And if you get a result from this. So Merle, what is appealing to you? Talking about need for setting a sleep window, walking 10,000 steps a day outside, or no alcohol Monday through Thursday, if that would do anything, or a 24-hour media detox once a week.
Yeah, so they all sound extremely good to me. I kind of leveraged the last two, no alcohol Monday through Thursday. I'm not a big drinker myself, but I do notice that I'm more prone to anxiety after drinking. And that is the truth. So it's a big deal. It takes a lot of energy out of you, and then when you're low on sleep and low on energy,
Bad
you don't,
quality sleep.
that's
So,
it. You got two of them there. I mean, you got the sleep one first. You need a good night's sleep. If you're not getting any sleep,
yeah.
and alcohol doesn't give you a good night's sleep, it
No.
gives you, you're unconscious basically, and your
Well, the
body's not
worst
restoring. Go
is
ahead.
trying to get started the next morning if you even have a mild hangover. You're just fuzzy in
Right.
the head. So
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
tough
and you
one.
don't have that right feeling. Your stomach doesn't feel that,
You're not on
you
top
don't
of your
feel
game.
like yourself, right?
So
And this
if
can
you
lead
just,
to
and this is
anxiety.
again, this isn't a no alcohol preach session. What this
No,
is,
no, no, no.
just do Monday through Thursday. And if you can do what you can for yourself on Friday. Okay. But if you're drinking during the week, a couple few times every day, try to lessen that a little bit. What we're going to say again is the positive effects that you'll get so quickly should help perpetuate more positive activity.
That's it. I mean, trying one of these, the detox of media for 24
That's
hours, I think is
mine.
a
That's
this is a
mine.
good one. Go ahead. Go off on that one
No,
because
I don't mean I need
that's
to
an
go off. That's
interesting
the
one.
one I'm going to do because I have
Yeah.
to. A
Well,
24-hour media detox is imperative. I've already been trying to have been out of need over the last 3, 4 months, making a shift in the media I take in because it was getting, I've mentioned it on here many times, it was getting, I don't know what word you want to use, foreboding. I was certainly creating anxiety in me, a lot of anxiety. So I've been switching way more into pure independent media channels and trying to just find hope while I'm hearing news. And dark programming is tough. By the way, I got to mention, I have a lighter side video for us, and it's only going to really work for people watching us on YouTube.
okay. All
It is
right, cool.
so funny. Oh, I can't wait
I
to show you.
love
You're
that.
going to laugh your ass off.
Funny is good. Hey,
Yeah.
let me comment on this one about well, wait, we just talked about
I was talking
the
about media detoxing, but you
the
got,
media
we're,
detox
okay.
is this is important because we were on vacation. I was out from Wednesday to Wednesday, and we didn't watch news. I didn't keep up with the news at all.
Nice.
And in fact, I found out about this government shutdown as I was headed to the airport, and I'm like, "Oh, are we gonna be able to even get on the
Oh,
plane
you know,
here?"
Lisa
Like,
is concerned about that. I'm like, wow, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this.
we do. I keep seeing hints that airlines are going to be affected. We were completely unaffected by it. Everything was easy.
Because the
So
TSA is what we're talking about, and air
which is
traffic
essential,
controllers. Yeah.
right? These things don't get shut down during these
Mm.
continuing resolution problems, and all of the essential stuff is up and running. But somewhere, somehow, somebody's probably going to be affected, and there's sort of a domino effect here. But back to what I was talking about, getting away from the media.
Yeah.
Here's something that I think is interesting is that when you get away from the media, it's a great break. And when you come back to it, you really don't miss a whole lot. I mean, it's
Isn't
kind of
that
like a
funny?
soap opera, right? Like,
Mm.
you watch a soap opera, they're just
And you're tuned
dumb.
in,
It's
like, I
just,
can't miss
yeah,
it. I can't
yeah,
miss what's
yeah.
going to
And then
happen tomorrow.
you miss it for a year and you come back and they're doing the same thing. It's the same darn story. So like when you miss the news it's great. I mean, we keep up with it. It's important to know. You can't know everything though. That's the thing. And I had these great discussions with family over vacation about the news and also social media and how
Ugh.
it's changed to gear towards the goal of getting you into a rage.
Divisiveness,
Yeah,
yes.
you read you get up in the morning and you read it, and man, I start my day off all angry,
You're
and
supposed
that's
to.
not a good way to that's not a good way for us to be. So it was very refreshing to get away, and then coming back to it was like, oh, the government shut down. Okay, yeah, they're still talking about health care. Oh, the Republicans are so bad, they're trying to eliminate health care for everybody. Or on the Democrat side, they just want all the illegal aliens to have health care and spend all your money. And somewhere in between those two is the truth, and that's what we got to figure out. But in the meantime, it's so divisive that it just makes it so that you go around with a chip on your shoulder all day. And we
Yeah.
got to put these things into perspective,
Well, we
man.
just have to realize that that is intentionally what is going on. And this is a big ask of common 360 million people in this country. It's a big ask, but with this independent media that has grown exponentially over the mainstream media failure, there's an opportunity there that we
There
can
really
raise
is.
our awareness and realize that as you're reading all this stuff, have fun with it, but just look at it. Look at the headlines and know it is set up for divisiveness immediately.
I think that it's interesting, kind of a theme that's happening is it seems like people, as I talked to my family and a lot of people over the last week, it seems like people are realizing what's going on, and they're also gravitating towards God and the spiritual side of things. I'm seeing that a lot of people were asking me about reading the Bible. Where do I start? There's a lot of anxiety in the air right now. The subject is anxiety, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of anxiety in the air right now, especially since the Charlie Kirk assassination. And people are wondering there's got to be something else out there. And I think personally, the anxiety thing and the news, it's like you've got to, it's important to understand what's going on, but there's so much more to life that does fit into, but we got to keep our priorities straight.
Mhm.
We have promises from God for protection and peace and our families are paramount in our lives. They need love. And when we watch this news and we get into a rage, it saps the love right out of us.
That's exactly right. Hate and
And
love
so
can't exist in the same place at the same time.
we've got to, I keep saying what the world needs now is love, sweet, sweet love. And it's really the truth. People are desperate for love. They want to feel that. And this past week I got to experience that. I got to officiating that wedding and everything. People were coming to me and asking me all about God. It was it's a different time there. I feel something different happening here in our world, and it's positive even
That
in the face of a lot of this negative stuff.
That's great. Again, very positive reinforcement. Pick the habit that works for you. And we did not talk about, I just want to briefly say, the walking 10,000 steps a day, preferably outside in a park-like setting. Charlie and I
That's a
do that
great
every
one.
morning, and it is like, thank God we start every day like that. It is,
That's great.
it is
10,000
great.
steps is no joke, actually.
I don't actually count steps. I don't know how many
I
10,000
think
is,
that's
but
like 5 miles or something like
oh,
that. I
we
don't
don't
know.
do 5 miles. We
It's quite a
may
thing.
do it in a day, but yeah,
Hey, I
that's a
wanted to show you
lot.
something.
Yeah, go ahead. Make it
Uh,
quick. We got a lot to
okay,
go.
this is interesting. I don't know if you see that,
says, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And it's a Charlie Kirk illustration. Isaiah 6 something
I
8.
Isaiah 6:8. That's
You
where
were trying to talk,
that
by the
comes
way, with
from.
that in front of your
I was.
microphone.
I stopped talking. This was from the Charlie Kirk Memorial. It was right there on the
Oh,
front row of the memorial. I had some friends of mine were down there, Mike and Andy, and they picked that up and brought it home to me. I thought that was really special. And that is the scripture that he would wear that on his shirt all the time. It's actually it's a quote from Jesus talking about, "Here I am. I'm willing to go to the cross for humanity." And interesting that he would wear that on his shirt all the time. He had that, and it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy right here. When you see what happened after he died, you are seeing churches filling up right now, like I haven't seen since 9/11, actually, which is something I think is remarkable.
all right. Before we get to the shutdown, because it's gonna just be a runaway train. Let's just briefly talk about how about Hegseth addressing the generals. What did you think of that?
Well, my favorite part was when he told them that he wasn't going to have any more fat generals out
That's
there.
what
And
Lisa kept talking about. I guess that's the big thing with
that is the
everybody, I
big
think.
thing. Everything that he said, I thought, yeah, that's right.
Same.
I mean, we okay, so we went from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. That definitely raised some eyebrows, right?
Yes,
Like,
with me for
okay,
sure. I heard
that's
I looked it up. It's not official name change. Like I'm sure in the next administration it'll be called
they'll probably
Department.
change that. Correct. However, it has been known as the Department of War for all of our history up until very recently. So that actually changed to the Department of Defense, and I really did understand Pete's his uh,
Intent.
his intent on that. It made sense. I felt
Same.
once he explained it, I felt good about that. But
Same.
this part about the fat generals, I think the real thing here is when you take a look at Pete Hegseth, he had made it to the rank of major when he was in the military. Now he's leapfrogged all those other positions, colonel and up to general, and now he's the man. And he's telling these generals, "Hey, you're fat. You got to lose weight. And by the way, you got to do this PT every day. It's going to be hard."
Okay,
And
losing your mic there.
this is can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the thing. He's coming up from the bottom and then making these people at the top do this stuff that he didn't actually earn his place as a general. And that's going to rub people the wrong way.
No, I totally agree with you, and I totally agreed with everything. Like anybody with common sense had to be like, yeah. I mean, get the guys with dresses out. You know,
Right?
yeah, put people in mental institutions that need to be there. Whatever. But here's the thing: the military needs to be a special cut above.
Right.
That's the important
Exactly.
thing. And
Yep.
it needs to be something that is respected so much that the kids that are entering it know why they're entering it. They are going there for security, to know how to become a real man for that direction and for a more promising future and direction. And it better supply them that. And if you're letting trans people do whatever and all the goofy things that they've been doing and lowering of all the standards, it is not doing that. It's just draining our tax dollars and sending America into a tailspin. So I'm all with that. I'm going to just end it with, but I don't want any more freaking wars. I want
No, I don't want.
less.
And we know one thing is that when you have a strong military, that actually is a deterrent. And so that's what we need. But if you have a military that looks like it could be vulnerable, especially through the woke agenda, which, by the way, the woke agenda is designed to separate,
Yeah,
disunify. That's what it's for.
exactly.
So obviously, there's a weakness there, and it had to be overcome. And I really actually enjoyed the way he put things, and I'm glad. Look, the military has a job. It's to win, and they have to kill people. Let's just be honest. And there's no woke verbiage that can cover that up. And if it does, we lose. And so this is a serious job. It's a terrible thing that has to be done because we live in a fallen world, but we better have a good military. Otherwise, our way of life is over. And people, there are enemies that want to do bad things to us. So it's a good thing we have a guy like that in charge.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens with those generals. Are they going to resign? I
Yeah.
wonder.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's that. Like, where do you draw the line? Because I'm halfway. Lisa's like, she's watching her program, and she's like, yeah, but you don't call these generals that are 60 years old fat or whatever, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean, but there is a line somewhere. It's just a matter of where do you draw the line? Because you don't. Yeah, it's then because you're leaning into the old "do what I say, not what I do." That
Right.
kind of
That's
ridiculous.
right.
There's got to be a line like, yeah, you're not expected to be like the 20-year-old, but
Well, that's right.
so
Well,
whatever
what
that
about
is.
this part though? Is that the physical requirements for duties are going to be the same for men and women?
Of course. That goes
I mean,
without saying.
that
I always
seems
thought that. Go ahead and let women in there, but it's the same damn test.
right. I just saw a video of two women trying to arrest somebody in a restaurant. It was
Oh,
a
yeah.
man, and did you see this? I mean,
No, I've
they
seen
couldn't
things
do
like
it.
that many times.
And
It has
then one of
gone
the
bad.
employees, who was a man, had to jump in
Yeah.
and settle it. Well, the problem is obvious, right? And I think that this is very common sense what he
DEI
said.
is a problem.
And but as far as those generals go, the older generals, the ones that are out of shape, I'm hoping that they have a graduated program so they don't put them into intense physical
Sure.
training
Sure.
immediately because you're going to have heart
Just get
attacks
them a
and things
trainer
like
and send
that
them
out
to the
there.
gym 3 times a week.
It's every day. They
What do you
they
think?
have to do this every day now.
Yeah, okay.
That's what he
What
said.
do you think about former FBI Director Comey, James Comey, being indicted? And I have such a hard time going between James Comey and Comer. I get that messed up all the time.
They're so different from each other too.
So,
One's
okay,
like 5'4", the other one's like 7 foot.
yeah, I'm gonna say James Comey is a good talker. Like if
Yeah.
you don't know better, he'd talk you right out of anything.
Yeah, he will. This is going to be interesting. Personally, I believe
I
that
doubt it.
the Trump administration has to move very quickly into these
They're
things.
trying.
And I mean, okay, so Comey, what about the rest of them? What about Clapper and Brennan? Where's
You got
Obama?
to start
Um,
somewhere.
yeah, you
Yeah, the
do,
Obama
but they're
stuff, they
starting
throw
awfully
that.
late.
See, that's the thing. They always throw this stuff out as a shiny ball to distract everybody when something like bombing Iran comes in the news. But I put in my notes, we watched Hillary Clinton avoid charges of wiping her servers and destroying the emails, no obstruction charge, while Bill Clinton is busted behind the scenes with AG Loretta Lynch on a tarmac, no obstruction charges. Obama wiretapping phones. There's just so much. Oh my God, all of the election interference with, now we're talking agencies here, but there's so much and never anything but a bunch of, oh, this is under investigation. And we cheer and we cheer, and it's enough to get us by for the day. And then it's forgotten and dropped. But this time, he's actually indicted. Indicted. So, but I did some research with chat and everything, and it's likely it's going to be a slap on the wrist. And is he the sacrificial lamb for the Clintons and things like that? These other people.
Yeah, well, Comey, I don't know what's going to happen, Barry. You know what? It seems like these people go into the system and then we don't hear anything about it. We've been hearing about this whole thing with Epstein for a long
Oh
time, and
yeah.
it seems like we're just going down the same route. I have no idea. I tell you what, though, I know that Comey is a shyster, along with Clapper and Brennan, and these guys I think they're guilty of treason. And let's see what
Oh,
happens.
I think so.
The evidence seems to be clear. I think they have the evidence.
It'll be
But at
light.
this point, I'm so frustrated with this system, how quickly they were able to indict Trump on like 98 different
Yes.
charges.
And get
This
them in there
guy was
immediately. Yeah.
he's squeaky clean. Look, I mean, he went through all of that. They couldn't peg him with anything. These guys are not squeaky clean. They are not. And
But
so
they got the system on their side.
they do, but gosh, we're seeing how the system is being cleaned out right now, and I know we're heading towards this the government shutdown. And I'm telling you, Barry,
Yeah, we
these
are now.
things are all headed towards a massive reduction in our government. I mean,
Mm.
that's what's going on right now, and I think the protections that Comey and Clapper and Brennan and the whole gang have is starting to disappear.
Wow,
Uh,
that's great positive news.
Well, it is. This shutdown, look, the shutdown is interesting, and I don't really understand the Democrat strategy on this whole thing that Schumer is taking. He's chosen to shut the government down. Now, whether this is over health care for us in general or if it's health care for illegal aliens, the bottom line is his counteroffer added $1.5 trillion. That's what it was. Okay, so here's what I don't trust. What are you going to do with that 1.5 trillion? Why are you going to shut down the government in order to get that when the continuing resolution that was offered actually takes care of all the finances for several months? It doesn't change anything. So you've got to get this $1.5 trillion. That's what's going on right here. And you shut down the government. Now, when they shut down the government, here's what's happened now is that puts and I just closed out all my notes, so I don't have them in front of me right here, but that puts the person in charge of the budget for the Trump administration in charge of how this gets administered. You see, mostly during government shutdowns, they are kind of like in a layoff position, right? They're not getting paid, but they're furloughed. That's what it's called.
Mm.
But that person, his last name is Vogt, that person put out a memo when this all happened saying, get prepared for massive layoffs. So there's about 2 million people that are out of work right now on furloughs, and they're looking at about a half of those people getting fired. And
Oh.
they have the political authority to make that happen. So here's Schumer shutting it down in order to get the 1.4 trillion. But how does he not know that puts the ball right into the Trump administration's hand and the campaign promise to reduce the size of the government? We could be looking at one of the largest layoffs in American history here in the next few days.
Mm. That's
And that's going to reduce a lot of the fat that's happened. Look, we're the largest employer in world history.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
there's a ton of fat there. Now,
Oh, there
I don't
is.
want
But then
people to
there's the
lose their
backlash
jobs.
of all these unemployed people.
See, that's the problem. Right
Hmm.
now, uh, we have an unemployment problem where we're not hiring,
Hmm.
and we're about to put 1 million people out there on the street,
Hmm.
and there's no jobs out there right now,
Right, right.
and that's going to be a major problem as well for the job market.
Right. I just wanted to, I'm going to try to get through this part of it quickly. There's a lot of hubbub about it's about funding, giving illegal aliens, we're not allowed to say that, undocumented migrant, illegal aliens, free health care and stuff like that. And it's like,
Right.
well, they do. I did my research on that. In places like New York and California, that is true. It's not true throughout the rest of America, but except for the fact that anybody can go into our emergency rooms and get free health care. So it is true in those regards. So then there's the other part of the argument. And is this really, they're going to take away the Affordable Health Care Act subsidies so, the bottom half of America can somewhat afford health care versus giving another tax break to the rich. Well, I did my homework on that, and both are in play. And you can go ahead and choose which is which. It's like, where do you want to put your money? Do you want another tax break for the rich, which I don't think is the right thing to do, or Affordable Health Care Act. I just got to always come back to, let's be real. Our healthcare system is so beyond broken that it's eating us alive, the
That's right.
entire country.
Yes.
And it needs, and then if you wanted to start talking about, well, how are we going to fix that? Well, you could go back 50 years and look at what it was like then. And then you could say, what happened in the last 50 years? And undo that. But none of that can be done with the power of the lobbyists that are in Washington. And this was at least 10 years ago. I remember the stat. There are 5 healthcare lobbyists in Washington for every government official. I'm sure it's more than that now.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyways, lobbying in general, I'm cutting all the way, cutting out all the fat, going right to the point. Lobbying in general has killed this country. It's legalized bribery, and you can't get anything done that's right in this country. And all of our politicians have become just narcissistic people, Instagram people, like that. All they want to do is get reelected, get their money, get their pictures taken, and that's all there really is to it. And this is what our system has created. Wasn't intended to be that way. Then you got campaign funding and super PACs. All of this, the entire world has bribed our country into doing their bidding. At some point, I want to talk about whatever the hell has become of Israel. Tiny, tiny country the size of New Jersey, leading the big dog around on a chain. I don't understand. I mean, I do kind of understand. I don't know what their mechanisms are that make that work, but I'm hearing a lot of people on the inside talk about it now.
Yeah,
but
I'm hearing that too.
But I want to get back to the point that we got to make a freaking movement now that there's an awareness going on that mainstream media is dead and independent media is here, though censored out its ass still. But that's starting to come around too. But we need a movement, a big, clear movement, no fat attached, to get rid of all the money out of Washington, get rid of lobbying and get rid of campaign funding. And when we hire our politicians, people are like, oh, you got to give them $500,000 a year. No, they're public servants. We want the kind of people that want to do public service. Give them $200,000 if they're not happy with that. You don't want them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And going back to this whole government shutdown, I was very confused about this. Republicans saying, "Oh, it's the Democrats. They want to be able to fund free health care for illegals, right?" And we did hear that a lot. And then I started looking it up, and I'm like, "Wait a second, it's illegal. It's not in the bill, or." The verbiage, they were saying it's a lie what Republicans are saying about the free health care for illegals. But I read this, I was looking like, well, what is the truth? But they're saying this. This is Elmer. He's talking right here. He's the majority whip. Tom Elmer says the Democrats shut down government for illegal immigrant health care. And then he explains it. He's saying, you have a law in this country that says illegals are not able to get Medicare. But you know what? You didn't have the verification tools in place to enforce the law. So we put the verification in the Working Families Tax Cut Act, also known as the Big Beautiful Bill. And guess what? The Congressional Budget Office estimated that would kick 1.4 million illegals off of Medicaid if we keep those verifications. And by the way, it was in writing in the alternative proposal that Schumer gave in the Senate to get rid of those verification requirements. So that's where this is coming from, is that the people that were applying for these healthcare, illegal aliens, weren't being vetted to show that they weren't citizens. And so once they did, it eliminated their ability to get this. And I'm talking nationwide, not just in those states. And so this is the gaffe right here. Take those off, and then illegal immigrants all over the country can can get the free health care. And I heard stories about people that were sitting next to somebody and could see in the hospital that they weren't getting billed at all
Mm.
for coming to the emergency ward or whatever, while they were getting these huge bills. Last thing I'll say is that the notion that spending all this money, even if it's not for illegal immigrants, adding more dollars, 1.5 trillion to Medicaid, it only adds more fire to the problem that we're having. You talked about going back 50 years. Well, when you do that, you can look at what's happened with insurance and how these insurance companies have
Mhm.
enriched themselves over the
Mhm.
last 50 years. The problem is that as we pay for healthcare coverage, it gets more and more expensive and it covers less and less. And when medicines are covered underneath of healthcare, nobody looks at the costs anymore to scrutinize
Mhm.
them so they can get away with charging exorbitant costs for these drugs. And so that's what's happened here is it's a game. It looks like the Democrats want to help
It's a
us
shell
with
game.
health care and oh the Republicans are against it. I got to say this. I don't think any of them really care about
I,
health care
I
because
don't
look
either.
at our hospitals, look at our
Yeah,
healthcare
that's my
system. They
point.
don't care. What
Right.
all they're doing is window dressing to keep themselves in power, and I think it's terrible.
No, you're exactly right. I did have in my notes when I was going to get more specific that hospitals, the insurers, the PBMs, the pharmacy benefit managers, and private equity investors have been dragging this down like a cartel, the
They
entire
have,
system.
like a
And
cartel, very well said.
so you got to block all these mergers. You got to break up the monopolies. You got to ban the tricks, punish the cheaters, and publish real transparent pricing on
That's right.
everything medically related. You get a
That's
broken
exactly
arm,
right.
can call around, shop it, and find out how much people pay to reset your arm and put you in a cast.
See, if we let's say we didn't have insurance companies, what would happen? Well, it'd be terrible. Cats and dogs living together. I think what would happen is competition would level
Yeah,
out prices so
yeah.
that whatever you're paying for your premiums on your insurance, that would cover everything that you need. You don't even need insurance. I'm just saying. And I think that there's a better way of doing this through actual charities rather than through the government. Because anytime we put together a government program,
It's a
there's
money
like
laundering.
a thousand thieves over there with
Hmm.
like with the bag with the money thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're all running around. Uh, it's terrible. We gotta wake up on this one.
It's like when you treated a welfare state, the poor, via the United Way, and 90 cents on every dollar went to the poor and 10% went to running the company. But then you start a government welfare system, then 90 cents goes to the bureaucracy and 10% go to fixing the poor.
Well, and anymore, you look at the Red Cross too. I think they're back in the 10% goes to the people and
Is that, I
90
don't
goes to
know.
the
Yeah.
administration too. So yeah, all of these things we got to look at. It's really something out there.
Well,
Hey,
okay.
there is one thing I
Yeah,
wanted to talk about
go
that
ahead.
I think is very, very big in the news right now. It's happening in the UK right now, and it is
Oh,
that the
right.
this has to do with the digital ID,
I
and this
just
is
listened to a
interesting.
podcast on that. Yeah.
Well, the digital IDs will be used to prove persons' right to live and work in the UK. They'll take the form of an app-based system stored on a smartphone in a similar way to the NHS app or digital bank cards. And so, what they're saying here, what Keir
We're,
Starmer is
we're
saying is
on our
that
way to that too.
well, that's why I'm bringing this up
Mm.
is he's saying this is going to be the way to make sure that illegal aliens are not able to be
That's how they're
employed.
selling it.
And
Yeah.
but wait a second, aren't you the guy that let all those people in the first place?
Uh,
Yes.
hmm.
Okay, so then suddenly you want to protect the UK by putting everybody on digital ID. And then when you hear the background on this and you see that it was our boy from Oracle, Larry Ellison, who's
Uh-huh.
back behind all of this. Okay, Larry Ellison, uh, temporarily the richest man in the world earlier this month, beating out Elon Musk. He runs Oracle. And if you take a look at what he's saying about
Way in the
this,
bed of Israel.
and he is talking about, look, everybody's going to be on their best behavior under this type of digital ID system.
I
The
heard the
police are going to
quote.
be under their best behavior because we're watching everything. The citizens are going to be on their best behavior because we're watching everything.
He
He
literally
says that
said that. He
in
did.
order for this to work, we need all the private data that's out there. We need your healthcare records. We need all
And that's what's the name of that company? Parthenon.
Oracle.
No, the government adjacent NGO that is to take all records, private records, put them all together to build a profile of all of your personal information.
I don't know the name of
Oh,
that, but
yes,
that's
you
it's
do.
horrifying. Okay, so I do. It'll come back to me. But
Yes,
let me
yes.
make this
Starts with a
point
P.
here. Is that we are looking at the digital bank, central bank,
Yeah, we're back
digital
to
currency.
back
And
to
so
digital
this
currency.
gets added to that. All of that data now gets collected as one thing so they can tell what you're purchasing, what you're not purchasing, where you're working, how much money you're making, and they can that gives the government the ability not only to track everything that you're doing, but also shut down anything they don't want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
They can shut down your bank account. They can shut down your ability to communicate. They can shut down anything. It's a totalitarian power grab that's happened, and it's spreading across the world. This has biblical ramifications, by the way, of the number of the beast in Revelation chapter 13, where you're given a number, and that number
Oh, I think this
doesn't
is on
it
Tucker.
causes you to not be able to buy and sell things. You have to have
The
the
mark
number
of
in
the
order to
beast.
buy and sell things. It's called the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
And there's a mystery called 666 that's wrapped up in the number of the beast that people are still trying to understand. But these people, like Larry Ellison, talking the way they're talking about what a benefit this is going to be to the people, is exactly how the Bible portrays Satan as being able to get away with this whole thing.
Palantir.
Palantir. Yeah.
I
I
told
remember
you.
now.
Told you.
Yep. I never would have recalled that.
I
But
don't.
good
Yeah,
job.
I remember hearing a lady on a podcast who was really high up in the government a few months ago warning us about Palantir and how she saw it all coming about, and it was just like she was just, please listen to what a dire warning this is.
Yeah, it
And
is, like I said, biblical ramifications.
yeah, so that's pretty awful stuff. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover? We did go through
Those were the
everything
main things.
really
Yeah.
fast. All
Yeah.
right. Do you want to go ahead and lighten this up with?
Yeah. Why not? We just talked about the number of the beast. We might as well lighten things
Oh,
up.
actually, that is a really good place because this is appropriate for Halloween. It's a little early. But this is about 2 minutes worth of people getting scared, and I laughed.
Oh,
my
that's
butt
fun.
off. Oh, you're gonna love it.
There you go. Oh my God, he broke his TV.
Oh, they get better.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that one.
He's trying to get out. Oh my gosh.
She
this is
fainted.
Terrible. Oh, she did faint. What's that clown right in the head? What? Oh my gosh, these are diabolical.
Oh, look at that.
What? Why did she kiss that?
I think that guy she thought it was her. She was sleeping. She thought it was him. Well, I think we almost got to watch this again. I did. Look at that.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
gosh. That's terrifying.
Hello?
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
That'll
god.
do it.
Yeah. She was ready.
That's what I'm gonna do when someone tries to scare me.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
He
Full
punched,
circle, that
he
poor
punched
guy
the
right
TV. Did you see that? He punched the
Yeah, he
TV.
kicked it. Did he kick it?
He punched it. Watch.
Destroyed his whole TV. Oh, he sure did. He's got a strong right cross.
Yeah, yeah. He's got good reflexes.
Some of these people, I'm surprised they didn't have a heart attack.
I know, dude. I think
terrible.
I might. That one right there, I might have a heart attack.
This guy can't get out of the room. See, that's terrible. Oh
That
my
woman
God,
fainted,
Barry.
dude. That woman fainted.
Hey, let's
right
see
there.
that again.
Look at her. Totally
she's
went limp.
done.
She might have died.
Wow, look at that. I hope there's no one in that clown suit.
Oh, did you see the reflexes on her?
That was fast.
That's
that's his wife. Wow. What
Oh,
kind of-
that's creepy, man.
that is really creepy. His phone.
All right, that's the one you talked about before. I'm gonna play that
That
again
was
because
my
see, she was
favorite,
sleeping.
actually.
She thought that was her boyfriend. or
Like,
what.
hi, honey. It's the facial expressions. She said you made me
Dude, that
pee.
right there would be. Oh,
That's terrible. That one's fun because he can't see anything.
yeah. That's funny.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that would be terrifying.
So horrible.
I don't think I spilled all that stuff on him. That was rough, man. Who wouldn't jump?
This one's a good one. Don't ever do that to your wife again.
Yeah, right.
Someone tries to
That's the third time starting over. So, all right, those are hilarious.
That was a great way to end and a
Yeah.
great way to start our
I wanted to save it for a couple weeks more towards Halloween, but I couldn't. It was just too good.
Hey, we have our 6-year anniversary coming up.
Oh yeah, I don't remember
I don't know
exactly
what the
when,
date
but
is,
it
but
is
it's this
around
month.
here.
Yeah, it's this month.
Yeah,
6 years. Congratulations.
Wow. Yeah, man. Congratulations.
I gotta say, time flies.
It does fly, and
Doesn't
you know,
seem like 6 years.
Lisa and I were talking about this recently, and I said, I just want to do something that makes a difference. She goes, "You are," and I don't know. It seems very, very modest difference that we could be making, but God, we got to do our part. We all have to do our part somehow or another. If you guys can share our show, that'd be great. You could help us do all of our parts.
Well, I got to say, Barry, when I went up to Michigan and I got to see a lot of Anne Marie's family, and they all asked about the show. They all still watch the show.
Nice.
They get a lot out of it. We are making a difference, Barry. Maybe not in this grand worldwide way, but to the people that we're making a difference for, it is making a difference in their lives. And if we can just help one person in some small way. And it's all been worth it. The
You know,
6 years have been worth it.
Lisa always stops me in the kitchen and is like, and she's totally thought this through. She'll be like, you and Merle need to talk about this on the show and tell me what is up with. And it's like she literally talks like that, like we have like our thumb on the pulse of America and we're going to do something to create this big change. And I mean, I don't know. I find it very, very flattering. She always does that.
I think when we get together and talk things through, we talk about things that most people are thinking about anyway. And we've got a talent for reasoning things out. And I think that's why people really like to listen to the show, because we come from two different perspectives. We look at it under a light. We don't try to BS each other. And we totally respect each other, and it's refreshing, and it helps people look all the things that we've learned on the show, because we've had an open mind to each other's opinion, have helped other people to realize and reason things out themselves. And maybe they're taking it to their friends and family as well and using those same techniques, because this is it. This is
Nice.
how
Yeah.
unity actually happens. This is how we unify America. And it starts one person at a time, one family at a time, two friends at a time.
Yeah.
And you know what? I thought a lot about Charlie Kirk over the last couple of weeks. One thing I love about him was he was changing people. He was helping to change people's hearts. That's a talent that's lost. I think we've tapped into that, Barry.
Well, my God, what a nice sentiment that is. With Charlie, I didn't agree with everything that he said, to
neither.
say the least. But my God, I love the guy.
Me too.
I mean, I really did. And you called me when that happened, when he got shot, and we were super emotional by the whole shock of it. I feel emotional now thinking about it.
Still.
And I guess it's because I think it's somebody that was whether it's an art, a movie, could be an actor, it could be a songwriter, any kind of somebody that's so honest and so close to the truth. I get moved emotionally, and I feel like that was Charlie Kirk.
Me too. And what I really loved about him too is he took time to listen to other people and hear them. It wasn't just my way or the highway.
Right.
He gave him a mic, he gave him a voice, and that to me is where the central part of the art of reason is we have to hear each other. I mean, really hear them and hear where they're coming from. And that's something that you and I have practiced over these last 6 years.
It's a
And I
muscle,
think
you
that
got to grow it. Yeah.
that's exactly right. We practice and we practice, and it takes humility to close your mouth and listen to somebody when
does.
your own emotions and opinion are raging on the inside of you.
Yeah.
We've disciplined ourselves in that, and I think that it's something that our whole country can really benefit from, and watching how we're doing this. And we're not perfect. But we're out there trying, and I think it is making a difference.
This social media thing, the internet, this detachment that we get from the internet has taken away that second tier of defense that we usually have. Meaning, instead of putting our impulsive, childish selves out there to society, we learn to put another layer called an adult in front of that. The internet takes that layer of adultness away. If you let it,
It does. Yeah. Yep.
you got to
And
bring
just
it
throw
back.
that out there, right?
Yeah. So that's what we are
Wow.
going to do. With that, all right, let's get going. I guess we will not have a show next week because of my vacation, unless we figure out some way to do that. Probably not. But do stay tuned for Mark's AI tip coming up next. Please share our show. Go to over50startingover.com. You could comment there and, of course, see the show right on the homepage. With that, Merle, have a great week.
Well, hello there, over 50 starting over friends. Mark Tennebeck with you with your AI tip of the week. This week, we wrap up our series on which AI platforms work best for you. And this week, it's Anthropic's Claude. Claude, of the three, is probably the least known large language model. But it's an AI assistant you really should get to know because it can be differentiating for us over 50s. It does a lot of things and it does a lot of things well. And some of the things that I like about Claude, it's got superior document analysis. You could actually take a lengthy document and ask Claude to pick out certain parts or highlight certain parts of the document and display those to you in bullet point form. It does that very well. Longer conversation memory, that means it remembers more, so it doesn't start forgetting and hallucinating and just making things up. So it's got a longer conversation memory, a larger context window, if you will. It analyzes data very well from spreadsheets or any kind of data you have. It really excels at that. It has a feature called Projects, which I'll show you in the demo that I use quite a bit, and it's very cool. And it has better business writing capabilities. And for me, just all around writing, I think it does much better than the other two platforms. And it is fantastic for developing creative content like blog posts or scripts. And a lot of times I use it to help me develop the AI Tip of the Week script. So it summarizes lengthy documents really well, and the free version is perfect for basic use cases. And I did want to go ahead and tell you that I'm going to show you the paid version of this, but as they say, the free version is very, very good. But the reason I show you the paid version is so we can show you all of the features and the robustness and the uniqueness of Claude. So let's take Claude for a spin. Well, here we are. We are inside of Claude, and you'll see it's got a very friendly user interface. The experience for users is great, just like the other two platforms. Over here, this is the list of the different models that you can use. We're going to use Sonnet 4 because it's good for just pretty much everyday things. And the Opus 4.1, these are just names they give it, but the capabilities is really what's important. The 4.1 is more for research, deep research, and we've talked about that before. And I also mentioned we're going to go through each platform and its deep research capabilities and upcoming AI tips. And then they have the older models that you could use. Sometimes people prefer those to maybe the current ones, but there is where you select your models here in Claude. Up here in the left corner, we will see this is where you can start a new chat. This is a list of your chats. I like this, how they put this together, and then you could actually have keywords here and it will actually search your chat history for that particular chat and you can pick up where you left off. Projects, this is the feature we spoke about in the introduction. As you can see, I use projects a lot, and I think it's just fantastic. So, for example, this is the one I use quite a bit, the AI Literacy for Experienced Seasoned Professionals over 50. And what you can do is you load documents over here, files and documents, and you can have a conversation about this topic, and it will reference these documents over here in the files area. And then you could see the different conversations that I've had in projects. So you could have different conversations about different things you're working on within that project. And it uses all of these documents over here as reference material. It is fantastic. I use it all of the time. Artifacts. This is a really cool feature of Claude as well. You can create an artifact that essentially is a conversation in of itself with Claude. So for example, if you click on the artifacts for apps and websites, it'll say, great, tell me about your website or your app that you would like to build. What do you have in mind? So you have a conversation about this. And then as it progresses, your conversation, it will build that app or that website for you when you get ready to tell it. So you answer a series of questions. It usually goes through about 6 or 7 questions, and then it builds out a mock of your website or your app that you have in mind, and it even writes the code for it. It is really slick. So let's go back here to a new chat, and you could see that you can add files. You can take a screenshot here in Claude. GitHub, that is a code base. You can add scripts and so forth from there. And you can add documents, files from Google Drive as well, or you can use a project here in this window. And you'll also see that the different styles, you can have extended thinking. In other words, the model thinks a little bit longer for answers to different things you're asking it or what you're talking about. It could perform a web search during its conversation with you. So if you ask it a question or if you reference something that it has to go out to the web to search, it does that for you. It searches Google Drive, it does a Gmail search, and it does a calendar search as well. And it's got this thing called connectors that is very, very interesting and intriguing. And if you use any of these apps, you can connect Claude with this app, and it will pull information from that app. So it's just like they're connected. So it's like another repository for Claude, and it's called Connectors. I use it quite a bit. So as you can see, all these little help buttons down here, I'll just let you go into the free version and start playing with them for yourself. And then, of course, your recent conversations are over here on the left. And that is a look at Claude. Wrapping up, Claude, it excels at document analysis. It has longer memory for complex cases. The projects feature is great for organizing different things you've got going on by topic. And it's more thoughtful. Responses are just wonderful, especially for business. So it's your turn. It is capable of deep analysis. It's got that longer memory. It is just perfect for strategic planning and projects. I recommend trying projects because they're separate AI workspaces for different clients, different initiatives, and you will love it. Tell me what you think about Claude. Email me at mark@marktennant.net, and let's connect on the socials on LinkedIn. I am Mark E. Tennant. Have a great week. Until we talk again,